Okay, this is episode 4 of our FSA math review. So today we're covering 2 pages. These are pages 4 and 5 of our review. If you go back to the first episode of our videos at the bottom, you can access the file of these questions, which are pulled straight from the item specs for the Math FSA 4th grade in the state of Florida. So number 8 says, Sarah is arranging the chairs for a recital. She wants to put the 16 chairs into a rectangular array. Complete the table to show 3 ways that Sarah can arrange the chairs. So if I take 16 and I think about all of the things I can multiply to make 16, I can think about, well, first of all, I can do 1 times 16. I can do 2 times 8. And I can do 4 times 4. Any others I haven't thought of? That's it. So guys, if this is all the things you can do to multiply to make 16, here's your answers. Number of rows, 1. You can put 16 chairs in each row. You could do 2 rows with 8 chairs in each row, or you could do 4 rows with 4 chairs in each row. This is a table item, which means you are going to need to complete a table in order to answer this question. So all this work that you do, you've got to come back in here and you've got to put answers within that table to get it correct. Okay. So these are the categories of measures for each angle on number 9. And I'm going to, right here, I'm going to show you something. Anytime you have an angle that looks like this, and it has a little square right there in the middle, that is automatically a 90-degree angle. When you have an angle that is larger than 90 degrees, it's going to look like it's farther apart than the 90 degree, and it will not have the square in the corner. Angles that are greater than 90 degrees, so it would be 91 degrees and higher, are called obtuse angles. We did learn that at the beginning of the year. Angles that are smaller than 90 degrees, I like to think about, oh, he's so cute. He's so cute and tiny. It's called an acute angle. And those are angles that are less than 90 degrees. Okay? So I'm going to look at all of this and I'm going to say, okay, is this angle less than 90 degrees or is it between 90 and 180 degrees? Well, right here, this is definitely bigger. So I'm going to check here. This angle definitely looks smaller than that 90 degrees, so I'm going to say it's less than 90 degrees. And this angle is definitely bigger. It's very open. And you can see the little arch right here giving us a clue that where the middle of that angle is and where those 2 lines meet. So that's definitely larger. This is where you have to complete a table. And you absolutely 100% need to get all of these correct in order to receive full credit. Okay, and so I'm going to go down here. This is number 10. Okay, so this question says, click on the protractor to show another ray that will create angle P. So obviously that this is on paper, so we cannot click. But when you take the test, it will be on the computer, and you will need to click. Okay? So, if I look here, when I am coming from this side, I'm going to look on the top numbers for this side, okay? Because I'm starting at 0 right here. And if I look very closely, and this is a copy, so it will be a little bit clearer on your computer screen for the test. And I look, here's 60 and here's 70. Here's right here in the middle. So 68 is about right there. So I'm going to take my mouse, or in this case, I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw the other side of this angle. And that's all you need to do. And this is angle P, and you could label this like that, but you do not need to. Okay? That's all you had to do. Any questions on that one before I turn the page over? All right. I'm going to go here to this next one. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. This is definitely not to scale. When I put this into the worksheet, you can see that this circle does kind of look like it's long. Like it looks more like an oval than an actual circle, and that's because of the way that it copied and pasted into a Word document. So it will look like a circle on the test. So it wants to know the measures in degree of the angle. All right, do you guys see right here where this curve is? That means that's the inside of the angle. That means that the angle starts here on this 0, and we can go all the way around to this part right here. And if I look here, here's 210, then there's a line, then there's 220. So if I look at this line, that's probably 215. And if I look at this line right here, because it's between 220 and 230, it would be 225 degrees. So the answer for this is 225 degrees. This is an answer that you would have to type. Okay? All right. Any questions about that one? The one thing that I will tell you is it is super important to look at where this part is, because that tells you where the inside of the angle is. If I did this backwards and I looked at this as the angle, my answer would be wrong. Okay? All right. Now, which statement about angles is true? An angle is formed by two rays that do not have the same endpoint. Well, I'm going to tell you that that's incorrect, because these are two rays, and they have to have the same endpoint together, or you don't have an angle. So that's definitely not it. An angle that turns through 1/360th of a circle has a measure of 360 degrees. Well, if I came back up here and I used this is 360 degrees because it's a circle. If it's 1/360th, that's going to be like super tiny. That's like a 1 degree angle. So that's not going to work. An angle that turns through 5 1-degree angles has a measure of 5 degrees. That might be it. Let's look at D. An angle measure is equal to the total length of the two rays that form the angle. So that would be measuring the length of these lines. And that's not how we measure an angle. We measure an angle by the distance between the two. So we have proven that A is incorrect. You will have a tool on the FSA where you can mark out answers. We've determined that B is incorrect. We have determined that D is incorrect. So that means your answer is C. And so what that means is 5 1-degree angles do add up to a measure of 5 degrees. And that is episode 4 of our FSA. Today is Tuesday, April 3rd, 2018. We are in the state of Florida. And everyone can say goodbye.